Hello and welcome back once more into the breach, my friends. This is Hambbage, and we're going to dive headfirst into a world of hardcore vanilla Minecraft and see what can ensue. As advertised at the end of the last video, it's not much later than the end of that. As you can see, we restarted the application, and just to taunt me talking about live stream. Someday, I would definitely like to get into a live presentation, but plenty more plenty more practice on my side. Just getting more comfortable with stuff before really trying to bring this in front of a live audience and seeing what all that requires. Mainly, and one of the things I've really tried to consider most often is what whether I use a different world when playing live as I do here in the recorded versions. In some ways, I think that makes a lot of sense. For one thing, this is something again. I sincerely do apologize for. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm not apologetic, but as I apologize, I'm not being apologetic. I'm not trying to pretend that this is G-rated content all the way across the board. And in a recent episode, in the height of dealing with some cave spiders, I've let a couple words slip here and there that are kind of that PG variety, and they could go beyond that. Again, much of that is gonna really vary on your background and what's acceptable to you, your upbringing, your family values, and all that kind of stuff. For me, at a minimum, I've been taught that there's a place and a time for certain things, and I don't think that any words or type of language is inherently wrong or bad. But at the same time, the way I talk in the locker room with a bunch of the guys is not the way I'm going to talk in front of my grandma. She'd have the rolling pin out at me. So I'm really trying to, particularly here in the YouTube side, keep things in a maybe PG-13 type of range, where occasionally in the heat of video game stress or something, I'm not going to filter myself. I'm going to try, and I'll feel bad when things do slip out, and I apologize in advance for that. But I'm not going to apologize for the possibility that those things go. For better or worse, it's who I am, and there it is. In a live stream environment, I think that's entirely more likely. I've seen enough live streams, and anybody who has knows kind of what goes on. The chats are much more likely to have a lot of that, and there are certainly people that go in and heavily moderate and keep those things in check. I don't know that I could commit to that, particularly early. It's one thing if you're a big streamer and you have a big audience and you have a bunch of mods in your community, and they understand your values and are willing to enforce them fairly and consistently, and they're people you trust to do so. That's one thing, right? You can then pretty easily have a community that polices itself. When you don't have any of that and you've got to be responsible for it, it's very difficult. Your flow, because you're rapping, but your flow gets disrupted every time you have to go in and police your own chat. And personally, from what I see of live streaming, and from my own side, being an adult, and having buddies where, particularly, back in the day when we were in college, everything was a little off color. That's the humor that you enjoy at that time, and a lot of the movies and things that I talk about, they're not for a kid's audience, and the humor that you appreciate is topical in nature, let's say. So while I don't think even in a live stream I would particularly be the person that's delving into that, or using language to try to be edgy. I also don't think that I would be the one with the quick leash on anybody that did that kind of stuff in the chat. So things that I've really been kind of thinking about and would like to answer better for myself. None of you guys can really answer this for me, I don't think. I just need to do enough of these where, for one thing, that just the mechanical stuff. Again, I'm just recently kind of reworked the playlists. I still haven't done anything with video editing. I've still got these ugly slides. And, when you get into a live environment, I think there's, maybe not early on, but there's eventually, more to manage if you are at a point where people are bringing in emotes, and that kind of stuff. And I'm not to any of that kind of point yet. So, maybe I'm making too much of it, and artificially delaying any such start. As much as I do try, if I'm browsing in the Minecraft category or something, I definitely, for one thing, the highest view counts are usually aimed at a much younger demographic. That doesn't mean they're G-rated by any means. Twitch in particular, but I think all streaming draws that hard line at 13 as being a minimum age for anyone to participate. And there's a reason for that. They understand that you can't in real time prevent people from trying to be edgy just by saying offensive things and all that. And you need a certain level of maturity to understand, one, maybe don't do that yourself, and two, that's really the motivation. People aren't saying those things intentionally. They're saying them to get a reaction and a rise, and all that. I've kind of touched on all that kind of stuff before, but again, maybe I'm just making that artificially difficult for me to get started, because honestly, just like with YouTube, it takes a long time to start getting visibility and have people find your content. And maybe you really do have a long time to grow, where you don't have to. But I would just as soon, if I'm in a live environment, have it where I have a little better control over, my own environment around here and those kind of things, so that when people do drop in, the distractions and all that kind of stuff, I'm more prepared to deal with. If that all makes sense. I don't know. Some people who are watching this may go, yeah, I've wondered those things myself. Others are like, what are you even talking about? I don't care. But the long and short is, I'm not certain yet if I want that to be an entirely different set of content, or whether I want that to just be another element here and pull what are streams, stream VODs, which are the video on demand. I always want to say the video of the day, right? Because so many people we'll do once daily, or a few times a week, but one stream for a day, and they put up the VOD, and it's like, oh, that's Tuesday, that's the VOD, but it's really video on demand. And really, all it is taking a live stream environment like like Twitch, and I know that, yeah, I just use that. That's the one that I consume content in. If you use others, I think Facebook Live, I think YouTube even has some of that kind of stuff. But in any of those, if you've had a live stream for the, mainly for the people that may have missed it, but also just to keep your, just like in YouTube, to keep your presence there 24/7, even when you may not be online, you'll elect to have your streams available as video on demand. So, it says, oh, hey, look, I went and found Hambbage on Twitch. He was last live, blah, and that's however long ago it was, yesterday. And then down below it'll say, past streams or whatever, and so there you would see the same kinds of videos that we have here. Now they're not a video platform, so you don't have the playlists and all that kind of stuff. Really, you just have whatever chunk of content you previously had. The trade-off and some of the advantages of that are you get to, or you can choose to see the chat messages in the VOD if you're viewing through Twitch, and at least in the of the people that I've seen do the streams and otherwise, when that video is loaded to YouTube, it's not available. And I don't know, having never done it, I don't know what any of that looks like. Am I then exporting a VOD out of Twitch first to then be able to turn around and load it up to YouTube? None of that is known or answered for me. So just considerations and reflections as we go through here. I guess today I'm kind of putting a piece into a lot of those things, kind of give you guys an idea of where things may develop or head to in the future. May not. I don't know. Maybe we'll just keep doing what we're doing. We'll see. But as I said from the day one, my hope is to do both. Really, ultimately, to build a community and share my playstyle with others who enjoy hardcore vanilla Minecraft, and maybe have their own, and particularly in that live stream format, kind of share, as you're playing, you share laughs at the funny stuff. They may share tips, or as I've said along the way, when you ask for, hey, what materials do you guys think would look good here and all that, obviously that's kind of in that context. And I'm not foolish. I understand, at best, comments are much delayed for me, so they're not really reflecting the actual gameplay. I know I'm going to have to answer those questions myself, but they also have. And now I'm going to leave this first one. I'm going to start switching some of this out for dirt, but I'm going to leave that. I think eventually we'll do that extra row of sandstone. Sorry, kind of breaking up the thought train there, but just wanted to explain kind of why I skipped over this one. So yeah, I don't know what I say. From very much day one, I wanted to get started on this. I don't know where we kind of wrap that up, but I think I've kind of covered it, right? I don't know yet what it's going to look like. I do know it would be more open to what could potentially be considered edgier language and topical stuff and all that, and I don't know how this audience necessarily would react to that, but I don't want to offend or drive people away that have been here from the start. And I really do think that, to the extent possible, I'd like to keep this content to the more grandma end of the spectrum, whole family, because I get it. A lot of people that find Minecraft and are truly trying to refine their own games and grow into it, are on the younger end of the spectrum, and that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are here, or out there playing the game and passing it on to younger brothers and sisters, cousins, whatever. It's scary to think, but it won't be too terribly long from where parents who played Minecraft as kids are passing it on to their kids. We're already, warning, warning. We're 5-6 years that stuff could start happening here pretty quick. If you think when Minecraft first came out, the people that were 10, 11, 12, they're already into their 20s. So it could already be happening. But widespread that those first generation, and I think Minecraft really first got started as an adult sandbox game. It was when the adults that are playing started, either, they're playing it, their kids are watching, like, they quickly realize, hey, kids love playing with blocks, Legos, all that kind of stuff. And there's so much similarity here that kids very early on who saw parents and things playing started jumping in. And I really think, the marketing that many people remember may have gotten exposed to really came along as a result, that already it had adapted to, hey, this is being gobbled up by kids. But much like what I just talked about, with content and audiences and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. I don't know any of them personally. I've never, even treated an email or anything, and don't expect to. But I would imagine that, Notch, Jeb, some of those guys, when all this is getting going, we're just much more concerned with making an expansive and deep game than any target audience. And that kind of came later when the response was so much, hey, I love this, but you should see my kids go crazy for it. They absolutely love it. So tell me how that's possible. What? I don't know. They wanted to make a deep game that sometimes just boggles the mind. Anyway, we're gonna lay down this dirt. That will get us. We got to push back that hill just a little bit more. I want at least 6 areas of dirt going back. 6 areas, rows of dirt that we can put flowers into. You kind of see as I go, and the actual patterns and stuff can vary, but kind of 2 for low flowers, 2 for the mediumer flowers, and then a couple for the big ones. Kind of balance out. Now there's a lot, and that's why I say at least 6. Personally, I think the big flowers have the least to work with, and kind of least favorite, of what all you can do. But in the low to medium, when you start mixing in like tulips and things with all the various colors, there's so much to work with there that it can go all over the place. And in some ways, just wild scattering of flowers is kind of cool, but I kind of think a little more formal garden for here, because the flowery forests and all those kind of things so well capture that wildness. But I don't know. We'll see. Again, do we have... That's just sand, not sandstone. Is that all the sandstone that we have left? And how much... let's Let's do the most important thing that I've totally ignored. Let's get you guys going again. Any other bees? Hello, bees. And this again is why I kind of want the buffer of sandstone, is because it becomes impossible to tell which bees are which. You know, with the cows and things, you just kind of jump in the middle and feed until they won't feed anymore. With bees, it becomes really tough because they're going in and out of the hives as well, and you just don't know which ones are which, and they're all, you know, kind of doing the same come right up in your face. So, do we start with the expanded flower? I mean, we don't need the flowers all the way down yet. Let's try. Let's see how much more sandstone we have, if we can finish off the kind of infrastructure of a bees first. And you know, like these tall, those are the rose bushes, right? And there's lilacs and peonies are the big flowers. And then you get smooth. Okay, I got some. This is the sand. That away. So we won't be able to do everything, but we can at least do the outer edge here and start our flowers, maybe. So we'll come along here. We'll just run this with sandstone. That'll give us, you know, just a little breathing room, right? We don't want to trample the flowers as we're just walking along. Let's switch that. And then, you know, we can kind of set our first row. Give you guys a little idea, you know. Look, I'm not gonna be overly fanatical about the flowers. For one thing, just to get started, you know, we just need a bunch, and a lot of that is for feeding, but we also want to have them have some options. But you know, it takes a lot of flowers to cover all this area, so we'll see how it goes. So as far as I want to go, I don't know. Plenty good. Just get. Wait, this isn't what I want to do. Stop. Just fill it all in, back in with dirt. Sandstone. That's what we want. I got too busy thinking about the flowers. I do like it when it's just that, you know, kind of occasional buzz. They haven't gotten to the point where they're just constant everywhere. So now we've bred some of the bees. They still aren't spilling over just yet. Okay, let's see if any of you... Hey guys. Hey guys. Hello. Okay. You. Oh, look at them all. You. I guess you're good. That's okay though. Not judging. Yeah, so that should get us a couple more little baby bees. What's the song about baby bumblebee? It was like a camp song. Something. I don't know. Alright. Now. I don't think we need to just be drowning in dirt. I'd like to tidy up some of this kind of stuff too. So let's take back what isn't cobble yet. That fills us in pretty well. I don't know why we have so many torches. Seems excessive. Getting up on nighttime. Sand away. Let's Oh, you got a little more than I thought we did. Oh, that's all right. You know, we can do a part of that, particularly the dirt over by the other side of the bees is what I want to get modified, because the dirt is what can ultimately, you know, have you end up inadvertently planting a bunch of flowers. We don't want that. So our dirt collection is growing. People are so jealous of my dirt collection. Never seen so much dirt. Gravel, lots of andesite out of all that. Some more gravel. So, guess make some more picks. So now what? What's our next move here? We never, you know, we didn't get our full adventure, and this one may be a little shorter, guys. I mean, not this short. We're just getting going, really. But I did kind of want to come back and get at least a little more completion out of our bees. No, I was just confusing the flowers for more torches. I don't know. I think the offhand torch experiment we've shown it can be a little frustrating rather than just productive. So let's call that good. I think we want to harvest again, flip more bee hives out of our area. I'm going to take a sip. Excuse me. I think I brought the mic down just in time to make the actual like swallowy sound. Sorry about that. So yeah, we'll harvest. We'll try to make some more beehives. Maybe fill in. And again, it's kind of that balance between we're going to get somewhere on every single one of our shears that we can. It's that balance. Some spreading out of the bees, along with some, you know, clearing out the area that you're already working in and getting them filled up. Both work. The only thing you really worry about is that they don't find the hive when they breed if there's not enough room, and then they just go tearing off across the, you know, for whatever reason their AI is like, you know what I need to do? I need to go south, and they actually pop over there, and the next thing you know, you've bred a bunch of bees and they all just fly off in an armada, and the next time you're out in a boat, you're like, I just saw 7 different bees bouncing around on the water a million miles from anywhere. And, you know, hey, look, all these poppies, and you guys decide that you need to go up to that one flower. So they have a little bit of a mind of their own. And like I said, they can be more frustrating than villagers at times. But if you have enough of them, it doesn't matter so much. And look, just in the course. Now, I don't know if we'll see a reflection of this in the farther crops, but you can see the beets. These look pretty well done too. I don't know if the bees have helped them too much or not, or if it's just a matter of we've been around here. But you can see, you know, if nothing else, we've got the progress of not quite ready to go. I think there's still, you know, like to see those a little more universally filled in. But they're close, and you know, maybe that is the difference. You know, look at the beets here, and there's only, you know, one every kind of section that isn't done at all. And up here, look, there's none missing. So our bees are doing some work. They're coming out. They're moving these things around. Again, each time they hit a plant, it's only, as far as I know, like one bone meal. So they won't necessarily, you know, make a plant grow full in one shot, but they'll keep them moving along. So as these spread down, some of this filled in should I was trying to see if we could see you should get the little green pluses when they do their thing. I don't know. We'll see. But I do like having them close to these three crops first. Because when we do start, once we get mending and everything set up on our Silk Touch axe, we'll be flipping these. So we want the greatest chance for our bees to hit the wheat, the beets, and the melons, and then kind of increasing or decreasing priority as they go over. Carrots and potatoes we'll have so many of that we aren't particularly worried about having them ready before everything else. So that's kind of it. Now, get distracted looking at the bees. It's cool. They're good. And, for the moment, we only get 3 of these at a time, but possibility of compound interest, right? Most powerful force on Earth. Same thing with bees. We want to see them spill over. So I think what will... Man, I already goofed that up. Again, this is because usually I do 5, so I do 2, 1, 2. Now we gotta go get a Silk Touch axe, because if we don't use the Silk Touch, we're gonna break that beehive down into components, and we don't want to do that. And worse would be if there's a bee inside it, right? And then he gets all offended, he or she, and goes tearing off to some other new place, and we're sad. So yeah, my bad there. But what I was... Itchy ear under the cup. Sorry if I moved the mic into my mouth as I was trying to talk. Unintentional. But yeah, what I was saying here is, let's try... Oh, see, so these are the empty beehives, clearly, and this one has something going on in it. So let's push these down here, and knowing that this one has at least a bee that's going to be coming down to it, we'll push them out. So, as we wander out in the world, we'll pick up more of the nests, and using those, we'll fill in the gaps, but we'll kind of first push down our hives, and then just through breeding, try to fill those in. And more than likely, as it's always been the case, we'll be hunting the last few bee nests long after we've got all our hive. We'll be fully awash, and one of you guys hasn't had a flower yet. And again, this is kind of why... There's the next bee. Why it's nice to have this sandstone around is that... where did I put that sandstone? Let's get these little dirt bits filled in. I think we're kind of settled in here. Whenever tomorrow or whenever the next session is, we'll be long overdue for a big play session. But think what all we've gotten done here just in kind of puttering around stuff. We've gotten enchanting going. Our breeding of bees is kind of helping us get levels slowly. That will bounce up a lot more as we go. We've switched out our adventuring foods. Now we have steak. We've got a whole bunch of arrows and a minimally enchanted bow, so that's more effective. And of course, it's just cool to have bees. We've also got a bunch of paper, so our book enchants can be ready to go too. So that's cool. But now, with this, maybe we can pull our bees to the front and kind of do the breeding of the bees over here. And leave the flowers alone, because once we space out bigger flower gardens, it's kind of a waste. I think I just am coming over here. I think I want to double this up. I don't know that I don't know that I want it to be just perfectly square over there. But this just gives us the same thing. Oh, and I think I'd like to take down those torches. They look silly and we're really just for measuring. And we'll put some up on the posts instead, just for light. Really don't even need them on this side. Certainly over here. I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave the other side. If you guys think it's more balanced to have torches on both ends, feel free to leave a comment. I think we're okay. We've got them here on the wall. We could clear the wall, put them here, but then the wall wouldn't look balanced with the rest of the farm where it really needs them. Oh, I thought one of these was gonna drip too. We'll get close. Okay, almost night. Not quite. Let's see. Oh, pick that up. Let's see. Do we have more? You ready? No? You ready? Nope. Sometimes it's tough to tell if you're missing them. But see, now I can just kind of hold my finger on the flowers and aim at the ground, and whichever ones you happen to clip, if they're ready, they'll take the hearts. You will waste a whole bunch of flowers on baby bees, but that actually, it's like chickens or anything else. If you feed them, they'll actually speed up their growth a little bit. So it's not a total waste, but can make the flowers go a little more quickly. All right, let's take all this cobble, get it out of the way. Let's leave that there. We can keep the harvesting tools. Let's actually run back over and go inside. I'm not too terrified of monsters that I think they'll cause us harm, but I don't want to get overwhelmed with cobble or any of that kind of stuff. So we should be here. Knock that off. Just keep one eventually. Yeah, we're still using dirt. No, actually, we're picking up dirt and replacing it with what sandstone we have, I think. We'll do one more shot of that. Gather the honey. Feed what bees we want want to be fed when we're done. Then we'll maybe look to do the crops. Turn them one more time. I see you, creeper. It's your friends that I don't see that I'm kind of worried about. Oh, clean miss. Oh, don't you dodge, and don't you take up my big pretty tree either. Okay, more creepers? Nope. Oh, DMCA. Shh. I don't know why that's always been my kind of like adventure-y song. It's so silly. Hopefully it wasn't well enough rendered to elicit any DMCA, but it definitely harkens back to my childhood, and it was kind of silly. It was never my favorite. Certainly the movie versions that followed later were, one, well outside my window, and two, just cringeworthy. But I do remember the original when I was a kid was going strong, and it was longer format than some of the other entertainment of its variety at the time. I'm trying to spoil it too much. If you guys want to comment what I just alluded to, but that doesn't come into my head too often. But maybe it was the bees, maybe it was the big mushrooms in the distance. Something kind of just made it pop into my head. And it's a little bit like the Jeopardy theme for me. That feel. Oh, look, there we go. They're expanding. They're doing our work for us. We have everything to harvest, so let's go. Now this is gonna be pretty wood intensive pretty quickly, so we'll want to kind of be aware of that and not just well, I mean, we got so much, we're not worried about it. I was gonna say, we don't want to just use up all our wood. Yeah, we'll use up as much as we need to. In total, with the forest fires, with the campfires as well, those take the full logs, so they definitely will chew up a lot of the wood. Oh, how that was pro style right there. Setting up your chest. Oh, now we don't have enough to. Yeah, we do. Perfect. Setting up your chest to be able to reach over from the tool bench is pretty good stuff. So, like I said, I'm gonna keep going this way first, all the way out, so that they have the most opportunity to spread that way first. Eventually we'll fill back in on this end too, but as you get a bunch, it can be kind of tough to get them to understand that you want them to spill over into the unused hives. And that's where, if all these are jammed up and they're breeding, then the bees are more likely to maybe go. And I don't know if doing this helps, where if you drag them down to unoccupied, that was a little one. Sometimes the scale is tough to tell. But, if you pull them here and they breed, will the baby associate first, or try to its parent's home, or will it associate first to the first available? If it's the first available, then, some of these may go, oh, home, look at that, I got one. Who knows? Mysteries of life, mysteries of bees. But see, now they all seem to be kind of hanging out down there. That's cool. So, did we give ourselves... How do I have so much new... Oh, because we did a little bit more of the sandstone. We're going to need to bring back more logs the next time around. I'm just going to dump all this. I guess I'll leave the gunpowder. We don't need to be that crazy. Obviously, our melons are all good. Beets are even closer than they were, which is good. Oh, there's the one token wheat that's like, no, I don't think I'm going to grow. You just, same spot over here with the potatoes. You guys just, do your own thing. I'm just going to stay little. So yeah, potatoes still showing their distance. They're a little bit lagging behind. I don't know. Let's go do the other animals. I bet they're feeling neglected. Cows and chickens are like, really? You got insects and now we're chopped liver? I don't think so. Oh, I was going to grab these things while I'm here. And we'll try to remember to bring back more wood. Yeah, no, I think this is a good idea while we're hanging out around the fire. And this is just pure feeding for both of these. We aren't too... Well, having just, last time we fed was when we harvested too, so really just trying to rebuild the population here a little bit. Alright, so we'll Leave them off to an edge, try to get out. Drop that off. Those are very many. But that's okay. You guys are more than just numbers to me. You're clucky, noisy little friends. Okay. Everyone amass. The happy, chimey sounds of XP orbs. Alright, next up, toss some eggs. And last up, harvest some sugar. There's some more XP. Okay. Dump that. What was that? I was like, I don't think I did that right. As I was closing it and saw seeds in my hand. Oh well. So, the good news is we got enough sugarcane now to make plenty more paper, make more books. That would at least let us begin to roll through more possible additional enchantments, and also keep trying on those the 2 extra bows that we have. Kind of infinite extra bows, right? We have plenty of string. We can just keep making until we find stuff we want. But yeah, I think we just kind of reset our tools here. Again, I'd love to be able to hit those crops one more time, but I don't know that we really need to force it until we are ready to harvest. We're just kind of in... Oh, that didn't work out. Sorry. And we want another axe. And hopefully we won't misplace any more hives or nests, so hopefully we can put that away safely. These... Oh, we want more. Let's just take planks. Really, we could just load over a bundle of logs and have them ready over there, but this is good for now. Come back over, say hi to everybody. How you guys doing? Maybe, oh, no, we don't want there. We want you here so we can reach you from the workbench. We talked about that. Okay, anybody hungry? You hungry? Oh, we're on the wrong side. Anybody over here hungry? Anybody hungry? Come over here. How about that? That's what I need to say. Okay, so you two are good. Anybody else? And again, once these get going, they will pop so quickly with honey that, it very quickly becomes totally unnecessary. You don't have to harvest it anymore. It's just kind of there. So that's a deal. In terms of, does it make it laggy? Are those things you have to watch out for? Particle effects. May want to consider turning off if you run into problems, and we may. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't ever done this with, the recording and usually the uploading of other videos at the same time. But having all the bees and all the particles falling from the bees bears watching. I'll just say that. And unlike the chickens and cows, like those, once once I have enough of everything, unless I need to harvest, I just kind of will harvest and leave their populations low, knowing that I don't have to deal with a whole bunch of them unless I need more of, leather or beef or, whatever it is. And if I do, then I just breed up a new batch and, but keep them low that way. The bees, you don't exactly have all that option. So we'll see if this gets out of control. If it does, oops. Then we'll just kind of silk touch spread some of these things out amongst it and stop breeding any more. But while we're filling in and getting started, it's good. We don't have to fill all the available slots. Why do I only have 9? We harvested this, so there's something. And again, there it is. The bees and honey is being frustrated. Those little honeycombs, will pop up on top of the thing. Sometimes you got to jump around and be like, well, what happened to them? Or you'll give up, not knowing where they are, and then all of a sudden, when you think your inventory is all cleaned up, all of a sudden it's filled up with random honey junk. So keeps you on your toes, keeps it fresh. So, not an overwhelming project. Oh, we should cook some sand too, unless we've got stash of glass somewhere. Anybody remember if we've got glass just piled up somewhere? We're into the 9, so this is the center one. So we're already filling in. We'll have to go to the quarry to get more sandstone. I think all the few witches that we've actually encountered or dealt with have given us glowstone as opposed to any bottles. I think we've gotten a bottle in one of the worlds. Just randomly dropped and had no use for it. Their bottles are definitely... Look at all the glass we got. Wah, wah. That's okay. He can always use glass. Oh, we made it all for the underwater aquarium that we built. Remember that? Our massive under ocean tunnel. Why did I think it was night? Is it almost night? Don't know. Alright, so clearly not even close to night. We'll have some bottles over here. Eventually get some honey. It's nice to at least show that it is and what it is and all that good stuff. Both honey and honeycomb can be blocks. Honeycomb blocks are just decorative. See, we're still spreading. More and more, you bees are doing your thing so wonderfully. I'm so proud of you. You're getting so big. And I don't know, there's just something addictive about running around and trying to find bees that still want flowers. I mean, face it, they're cute little bees, even for people that aren't big bee fans. I don't. Bees don't bother me at all. We don't have to have the whole big snake talk again. But bees don't bother me at all. Bees can climb all over me, and I've observed and learned enough about bees to know that even when they're doing that, they're doing their exploration stuff. And unless you inadvertently trap one in your clothes, or happen to catch one in a hand or something, they're usually pretty docile. They're not looking to sting. So I try to treat them as chill as they can treat me, and even if it's the picnic or something, and they're all coming for the honey, or you realize too late that some shampoo or sunscreen or something I think people with sunscreen and bug bug repellent stuff are pretty cognizant of trying not to make them sense that will pull bees in, but and probably less for guys than girls, but like some of the cosmetics and some of those kind of things can inadvertently get a little more attention than you'd like, and for viewers, even just this kind of a swarm can sometimes get a little overwhelming, even though it's a video game. And it's just brings back bad experiences or thoughts. So we'll try to get a bunch of it done, and then nope, you don't need more. But I love it. From nothing you get this little colony of bees, and they're so excited when you bring out flowers. They just want to check in, and then you move them from your hand, and they're like whoosh, off to the fields or to the flowers, to the various hives and nests. They'll keep filling in. So maybe in our next we'll kind of push for a boat adventure. There's the biome that I've mentioned a couple times I'd like to find, and we'll let them do their thing. Kind of maybe generate some more honey. So, we know we've got our neighbors over here. We got the quarry here, the neighbors just beyond the acacia savanna, then a lot of desert. And in the midst of that desert, we kind of have ocean going out into the distance that we've not come close to reaching the end of. We kind of cut across it. If you guys remember back several videos ago, we'd been on our boat and we kind of curved around and we got to stretched, what do they call it? The extreme hills or something like that, where the savanna is just, all kinds of crazy cliffs and land formations. So we saw one of those. It looked really cool. But we turned back in our boat. So there's lots of stuff out that way, potentially. But we didn't really see an end to the ocean in that direction. There's potentially endless stuff all out to the south. We've gone as far as the snowy taiga and hadn't really seen more ocean on the far side of it, so that could be a big land mass out that way. But kind of all between the point of land that we've crossed several times that has savanna and desert out this way past a village, past the Mushroom Island. We haven't done anything out beyond in this way to the south, and we've got whole additional oceans and stuff going out to the south once we go around that point of land. So lots more to explore by boat, lots more to explore by land. Do we go get a horse friend of some kind and set him up maybe by the quarry, but use him on a land adventure? We've got the saddles. We could do certainly apples and sugar and all the rest. We could tame and breed and all the rest of it with our horses now. I'd kind of like to push the content a little further, get nether and all that kind of stuff, and leave some of those kind of things for a little later, just so we have more, post-end game content. But it seems, as soon as you get to wings, all that seems a little silly and contrived. So I kind of like to work up through it while we still need those things. It's not just we're just doing it to kill time, blah blah blah. No, we're getting a horse because we need to move around, and you guys kind of see, we've blown through already a stack just in bee food. Maybe I'm getting a little too early, but again, you can kind of constantly feed, because even when you've done a whole bunch, there've been a bunch that were just hiding out in their hives. Now let's sleep. I didn't go away because we're kind of poised for another batch of harvest, another batch of hives, but I think that may kind of do it. I'd like to break the bee cycle. We're deep in the bees right now, and it can be. Again, you can once these all fill in, you can kind of do them all at once, but be quick. You don't want to just leave the fires because the bees can fly in and take damage. They are in danger of being damaged. So, you don't have to panic, but move kind of quickly as you go. And see, with the smoke, they're happy. No, keep giving me room to make more. Down. So we'll see how this does us. 6 more, so that's an entire section. We've exceeded all of that chunk of wood. But again, we don't have to do it. It wasn't my intent to just grind this until we had all the materials to help make them. But as you can see, I don't know. Maybe watching it, it's like really more. For me though, it's just it's kind of an endless cycle. You gather the resources, you put them all up, you come back. All of a sudden, the bees are hungry again. They want more, and then you're back at it again. So. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, hang on 1 second, guys. As I said, I got stuff going on here today. I gotta check in with somebody. I'll be right back. Just going on mute. All right, we're back. Sorry about that again. More reasons in talking about the live streaming and all that. More reasons why we're not quite ready yet. The good news in muting, I was able to watch the time clicking by, and we're just over an hour in. I think our beets were closest. Probably our pumpkin. No, we don't even have all the pumpkins done. Bees, would you guys get on it? I'm doing carrots. They're probably the least complete, but we get so many, and we can just jam the chest. Oh yeah, fine. Eat a carrot. I don't think I've eaten one yet. That was it. Your one chance. Carrot sticks. How do people feel about carrot sticks? Are you a carrot stick fan? Are you a celery stick fan? Like if you get the wings and you get the the obligatory couple carrot sticks, couple pieces of celery, one or the other. As a kid, I hated celery. And, it wasn't anything wrong with celery itself. It was that fiber. You got celery sticks and you get the little like dental flossy strings of celery in the middle of it. Couldn't stand it. But I've always loved cooked carrots and celery together. I don't know why those two always seem to go together, but like the carrot rounds and especially now, but throughout, I've always been a fan of the fresh sliced. And for those of you folks that have kids and all that, it doesn't cost much to get the little crinkle cutter, right? It's basically just a spatula-shaped knife that you peel some carrots and chop down. Now with the bags of baby carrots, I don't know anybody that buys full carrots anymore, but even with those little baby ones, you can still make the crinkle cut carrots with the baby carrot bags and just cook them up fresh that way. I don't know. I don't have to really cook for kids much, and I don't have one of those. Again, I'm in an apartment. You kind of have to pick and choose your utensils and your cooking implements and all that. With what can you use and what can you afford to store? And I say afford, not monetary wise, but space wise. It's you got limited cabinets, you got limited pantry and all that kind of stuff. So you don't, for people that are used to the luxury of a bigger kitchen in the house, you gotta make some decisions. And this is stuff I might explore if I either do a different playlist as Hambbage, or I think I've probably already eaten one potato, but now we've eaten both of the raw vegetables. Haven't eaten a raw beet yet. I'll have to do that. But these are things that maybe explore in more detail in another playlist or on another channel format, whatever. But what are my or your most valued cooking implements? What are the top 10 things you use most regularly? What wouldn't you give up? What are things that you don't necessarily use regularly, but you gotta have, either for a special dish that you cook that has a particular use? What are tools and implements and things that you can't get by without? I think, and this may be crazy, in some extent it probably is. I think most gamers are gonna say, man, I don't need to know about all this kind of stuff. Order pizza. Well, yeah, but at some point, even if you're 18, you're playing games, you're off to college or whatever, and yeah, you're living on delivery food and Taco Bell and all that. I get it. I've done it too. But at some point, you're going to be like, hey, what? I want to have a girl over. I want to cook her dinner, and she's not exactly blown away when I get the cheese and extra pepperoni from Domino's. It's just, at some point you're going to kind of go, hey, I'd like to be viewed, and even if it's just for yourself, I'd like to be able to cook something that's not just the same old. So would it be worthy as you're playing, and maybe as an IRL type stream of, here's the important stuff that I have in my kitchen. Here, here's what I find. Here's some, and trust me, there's a whole other side of the internet that's full to the gills with all this kind of stuff. It's not a monetizing thing. It's just more for guys who want to eat efficiently, because you'd rather be gaming than cooking, but also understanding that you want to be a little more health conscious, because gaming is not, it's not the same as being a gym rat, right? If you're at the gym all the time, then you have a little different diet ideally than you do as a gamer. And again, I get it. If you're in college, this is all stuff maybe you remember a little bit of it for down the road. You're not terribly worried about eating a bunch of junk food because your metabolism is rocking. The cumulative effects aren't as big a concern because you don't have that much life behind you yet. But let me tell you, if 4, 5, however many college age years, and I'm not saying I went to college, so for me that's the early adult life moving out. Not everybody, needs or wants or has to go to college or can afford to. Although we seem to be heading in the direction that anybody who wants to, taxpayers will just pay for it. Not a fan, but anyway, um, whether you're in college or just at that age where, hey, I'm getting out of mom and dad's house, I got a job, and I'm going to move in with some friends in an apartment, all that kind of stuff. Good for you. Those are fun years. I think everybody, no matter what scene you're into, whether you're, quote unquote, a partier or not, you enjoy the freedom of being an adult. It's what you've, kind of waited and dreamed of as a child growing up. Hey, let me live my own life. I want to live my own life. Well, there's, once you're out on your own, there's nobody to tell you to go to bed a certain hour. There's nobody to tell you to do laundry. You can try to wear the same clothes as long as you want. I think your friends or acquaintances or anybody, if you still see people IRL, are going to tell you pretty quickly that maybe go get some Tide. Make it down to the laundry room or the laundromat or whatever at your first apartment you got to use, and clean those up a little bit. They're nasty. Um, oh man, look at all these beets. I keep thinking, oh man, I'm not jumping off the roof again just to get hungry. Let's let's just make another batch. Be done with this. This is silly. I know. I didn't even get the mold. I've done that before. I know. Um, just seems like something to get done with, right? These don't stack. No way. We're not making a gazillion of them. Just one. That's all we need. I know we've already had that, which is why it's silly that we have more. Once we have that, the only thing that we'll have left in the soup category is rabbit. We never did cook our chickens either. Is it nighttime now? I know we were kind of coming back. Let's get one. Do we even have one more chicken in the bins? Did we store chickens? I don't know. I'm totally derailed, sidetracked. Should go put these back. I think we didn't do pumpkins yet, did we? Over in there, what we were really trying to do was just do our fields. Um, Again, good progress. Unapologetic progress in the fact that this is getting us better equipped when we do set up our traders to just full speed ahead there. We're not going to have to, in World 2, we had to go back, wait for the fields, harvest, turn around, come back, all that stuff endlessly. If you're building your village or outpost and you already have, full chests of potatoes and carrots to keep them eating and breeding and all that, and then, as the farmers, I think 6 worked out pretty well for us, right? So we'll do that again. But if they all pop and are trading with you while you're building the whole outpost, you can have emeralds coming out of your ears before you even have librarians to trade with. So perfect. That's exactly how we want it to go. Man, we haven't done wheat yet either. I'm running around making beet soup. Crazy. So yeah, I mentioned rabbit. I think rabbit stew it's one of the coolest things in terms of food in the game, because it just teases that multiple ingredients going into something. Kind of go back to the cake, the legacy of, the cake is a lie and all that good stuff from the early days. I, like a lot of people, and definitely bummed that for whatever reason, and yeah, it was kind of a silly deal. And if that particular back in the day, it was an achievement, not an advancement. But back in the day, if that particular advancement was a pet, thing that had been created by people who are no longer affiliated, there may be nobody to speak for it anymore. Okay, well, yeah, let's get rid of that one. But cake and rabbit stew and all those kind of things, I've often talked about that I wish there was a way to better add a depth of food to the game. Food is, it's critical in all our lives, and they do such a good way of having variety of it here in Minecraft. But I kind of wish there was more of a way to present it or play in it, that prepared foods, rather than just throwing on the ground and despawning. If there was even some kind of a craftable table that would hold and display food, I think would be cool. I just think, when base building or house building is such a part of the game, as Minecraft has evolved to be, and food and kitchen, think about the rooms in your home that you spend the most time in. Granted, one of those may be your computer room or your bedroom or wherever you play video games, but as adults, and particularly when we gather around holidays and stuff, you think about it, a lot of the conversation time and hanging out is done in the kitchen and or a dining room, where you prepare and eat food is where you end up spending a lot of your life and your waking life, when you're not, just grinding at whatever your job is. Oh, we got more trouble. Here goes the neighborhood again. Go deal with the riffraff. I wonder if you guys will have a banner this time. Now, I don't know what their range is. Oh, don't you get my bees, though. No, you come away from my bees. Again, probably not the best tactics to begin the fight without full food. So he at least has an enchanted bow. Something to be aware of. More. Oh, yeah, they're making up for the. Hey, shoot each other. Okay, run away. Sweep the leg, run away. Actually, like you guys haven't done anything to me. That's all my awesome armor, huh? So jealous. Okay. You? Bob and weave. Oh, you hit the tree. We've never even had that in this world. Okay, voluntary exile. We talked about it in previous world, and I missed showing the title or missed catching it. But yeah, so Bad Omen. We talked about it a little bit, but I didn't. I think I got blown up. Maybe was I carrying Bad Omen when I died? I don't remember, but it lasts an extremely long time. 90 or 120 minutes or something like that of real life time, in as played in the game. So it will stick with you. Clearly, we've drank milk before, and that's what we'll do to get rid of it. We don't want to just carry it around. But yeah, that's That's definitely interesting. I really thought we'd all right, but I guess we haven't had a banner even, so why would we? We'll you dump it in here for now. I don't know that. At least not yet. I don't want to put those up. Maybe we'll make a. Well, if we make like a Great Hall, I think I'd rather make like flag style banners with patterns, which is something we haven't even looked at yet. Why am I? I think I was thinking of putting it in the treasure chest, decided not to, and then went down to the treasure chest anyway. So yeah, again, for those who may not know, I think players certainly are aware. If you have the bad omen effect, and then engage with a villager, and it doesn't work with the wandering trader, I don't think. But if you enter a village, so even our outposts, until we have enough to make it count as a village, it doesn't count. But once there's 3 in extra beds or something like that, it's not a lot. But once they look at all that milk. Oh, because we were fighting the cave spiders. Did I come in here and look in this chest and not see those and then grab? I tell you, we could make a cake though, right? Well, we just need wheat. Let's make a cake. Sorry, the phone's dinging here. I'll probably wrap up here pretty quick. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Not relevant. Let's make a cake. All we need is a couple more eggs and some wheat. You guys have eggs, right? Oh, look at all these eggs. I don't even remember what exactly the recipe is. I'm sure we have enough eggs here. They're just as good as feeding chickens. Now the question is, can I get back out without a massive jailbreak? If you just go quick, don't think about it, you can usually manage it. But they smell fear. If you hesitate, they're all over you. Okay, so we got eggs, we got flour represented by the wheat. We've got milk, and I can't remember if it's sugar or how it all goes together. Let's get some in case we need some. I don't want to severely cut into our paper supply. Okay, now I'm not going to pretend like I know how it all stacks up. Cake. There you go. I had a pretty good feel for the ingredients, but and I knew that the 3 milks were important. So boom, there we go. We got a cake. Everybody familiar with cake? Oh, look at that! It's almost bedtime. Everybody familiar with cake? Anybody know how that kind of plays out? For now, we'll put in there. But cake is unique, and because I don't know, once I set it down, this is all kind of spoilery, right? But not that there's much to spoil. I'll just put a little wheat in the box until I decide why do I have wheat in my box and take it back out to the chest. I'm going to hold on to those so I can at least refill some with milk. Should we? There's a lava lake. What's our time like? Hang on. We're we got some time. We're just kind of putzing around here anyway, right? Let's do a little advancement snatching. This is an advancement that it seems kind of silly to me. It's just, it's like, yeah, you do it and it's cool and all that, but I don't really get its intent in the game. Oh, are we in danger here? So we grabbed 3 buckets of lava, and grabbing a bucket of lava is the hot topic at advancement. Okay, we did it. Now, why would we ever want buckets of lava, you ask? Good question. For one thing, you can use lava as a killing mechanism in farms and traps and things where you don't care about the experience. You can make what's called a lava blade, where just an edge where lava, kind of flows across the floor, goes out to 8, and it's just sitting on this edge, so it's not flowing down into an area. But if mobs then get pushed against it, they'll catch on fire and cook. So you'll never get experience from that. But if you're trying to kill iron golems for just their iron, right? If you kill iron golems, which are formidable opponents, we're not ready for that, certainly. Unless we use terrain and all that kind of stuff, we could set it up for victory. So that's one thing. The other thing is you can use them to power furnaces, and they do quite a bit of cooking duration. I'm not sure the exact specifics. I've never found it to be as good for my playstyle as just coal blocks. I'm kind of more down there, so we'll see. We'll just load them up and see how long they last, since we've got the lava in there, and I don't particularly want to just have flowing lava around here. So those are some various techniques that you can use for doing that. A lot of times I'll save it in the net, wait until the nether, where there's a particular little pocket of lava that's going to be in the way. But it's much quicker dealing with lava to just drop blocks like we did with the cobble there. Once it became flowing, I can't turn that into obsidian, and that's the other reason I don't tend to use lava buckets in my furnaces, even though it's a good fuel, it's a lasting good fuel source, is where there's available lava like that. I'd rather, now, man, that's going to be no, not too much. All right, let's keep everything loose, because when those do run out, we're going to have to put them back. And I want to keep, if I'd used 3, if I keep 3 to put back in there, if I take these 3 and convert them into blocks, we're going to not have enough to put back in. We'd have to just split the blocks out across. And again, until you've got so much that it's just over the top, a single piece of coal cooks 8 items, right? Just a lump of coal like this. So if you have a random piece of iron ore and you cook it, the worst you're missing out on is 8 functions. A block of coal cooks a lot more than that. So if you then turn around and are like, oh, I just need to cook up this one piece of chicken, you've wasted all the rest of that potential blocks of coal. So I do, usually I like to keep some of these, I'll make a bank of furnaces somewhere for cooking stone or, sandstone or whatever, glass, and I'll put that away, and I'll keep these running pieces of coal, just so, eventually you're going to have enough anyway. It doesn't matter, and just for the convenience of it. When it really becomes just over the top, then you're like, all right, might as well load it up. I don't care that I'm wasting it. I just don't need to deal in the little coal, and save the pieces just for torches. That's all you need. That was babbling. I'm sure stuff that nobody needed to know or think about. But if you were wondering, that's how I approach coal management. And we got the advancement for picking up um, a bucket of lava. So we'll see if we can pull some of our friends down. Are you stuck, dude? What? Get out of there! I'm scared. You're gonna turn into a fire bee. That is a little concerning. I don't know what his deal is. Hey, come on down. Flowers over here. You, what's your deal, dude? Oh no, bees. Who can tell? They're crazy. Alright, we got a bunch of you though. Onward and flowerward. Think of how awful this would be if we had torches in our offhand. This would just be a mass of torches. Alright, well, there we go. You. Getting a little experience here. Again, not a ton. You know, it's not... Don't make a bee farm just to level up. That's not the way to do it. But speaking of advancements, let's see if we can get one more here right quick. That's a phrase a lot of my coworkers used to use when I worked with a lot of folks in kind of the southeastern United States. I'm worried about you, dude. Your welfare is my concern, and I don't know quite how to, There we go. Sometimes it just takes something. I didn't want to break the fire. Unless you have silk touch, that goes back into components. Okay. As I said, bees, awesome, cool. I definitely am a fan, but I don't even know I'd get an extra one for just getting honey. That's cool. Oh man, that's what I said. You don't have to panic, but don't leave your bee fires just burning. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1. All right, so we're accumulating little bottles of honey. We don't have quite enough to finish yet, so we'll need... Oh, it's good. Good honey. Honey goodness, pure sugar. I'm just bouncing off the walls now. So that's one of our foods, eaten. What I'd like is to get 3 more of those and then be set for... Oh, maybe it's not. Hold on, let's check. Is it? Oh, look at that. All right, now we'll see if... Hang on 1 second. Just a second. Oh, more than a second. We'll worry about that after. Now, I don't know if we can do this with just one. There's like something about... Oh, maybe it's Is it like this? Sounds awful. How did we do that? Oh, wow, excuse me, that was just a random cough. What's the trick? Somebody out there's just laughing like, oh, you forgot the trick. There's a trick to, and I think it has to be up. So clearly we made a honey block. Obviously, everybody knows a honey block. I think maybe is it too high to get the and then stack them up and jump into it. You can kind of already imagine the appeal here. So honey has the advantage of slowing you, kind of like a spider web, a little, but differently. You can leap from heights, much like water, and just hit honey and kind of slide the rest of the way down without taking any damage. And there's an advancement for doing that, but it's always, since they first introduced it, it's not just simple, straightforward as described. It's there's a little trick to it, and I can't remember the trick. I think that it's kind of like catching it with the side and doing that. But there's another later game advancement that is very similar in that it's just you gotta hit it just right. There it is. Hey, we got it. So just like that, just in time for bed. Sticky situation. And we'll pull that up. So here, jump into a honey block to break your fall. And as you can see, we had to jump a whole lot of different ways and tricks to kind of get it to go. It's just one of those little weird knack things where you have to hit it just right to get it. There's an archery-based one. I think it's like bullseye or eagle eye or something like that. Hitting a target with an arrow from a long way away, and it's super finicky. People will talk about it. So honey blocks can be used for a couple different crafting type things, I think, but they're primarily decorative. One of the things that once you get elytra and you're first learning to use them, elytra are very dangerous. You can crash very easily using elytra, and that's a good way to kill yourself and lose your world in hardcore. So one of the things that savvy players may do is if you have until you practice, once you're pretty accomplished with it, it's not too big a deal, but you say that, and then do you want to carry around the risk at all, or do you just want to deal with it? So if you've got like a mountainside base, right, or something like that with a narrow entrance and not a big field where you can just slowly circle in for a landing, a lot of people will throw up a wall of honey blocks or sectional walls above a deck, and you can kind of just barrel into the honey. You won't take damage for crashing into honey, and then you'll slide down and drop and come to a safe stop. So some people have used it creatively like that. I don't know that there's a ton of non-crafting type stuff, but decoratively it's a cool block. The other block I haven't shown you guys yet because we're using the honeycomb for now. But once we've got all the bee hives made that we need. Hello. We'll make up some honeycomb blocks, and they're again just a purely decorative block that was introduced with bees. Pretty cool. So. All right. What have we learned in this episode? And I'm going to wind it down pretty quick, as always. I'm really glad you guys have been here. I hope you're enjoying. Please give me any feedback in the comments, or drop a like, hit a subscribe. Let me know you're following along, and if you're enjoying it, or if you have recommendations, other topics and things that we can cover. I hope the bees knees. I hope this episode was the bees knees. If anybody's heard that expression before, um, it certainly was fun. I really got a kick out of the bees being added to the game back when they were. It's been a few releases ago, but something that most games don't really take into consideration. But I think in part, at least they'll take the credit for it. But yeah, I think in part, Mojang was aware that colony collapse disorder for bees, which is that hives will suddenly fall apart, and that the actual native honeybee population here in North America, at least, I don't know if it's a wider thing or not, has been in decline, and that's a big concern. Is it pesticides, or what's causing that? What can be done? We are very dependent on bees at IRL. They do a lot of pollination type stuff that we otherwise don't really have a cost-effective means to do for our food supply. So thank you, local bees. They're wonderful, and I bet most of you guys, if you're younger, are certainly aware. I think that's commonly discussed in schools and all that. But yeah, never hurts to tip our cap to the bees. We appreciate y'all. As I said, we've now done a lot. We got a little improvement on our wall here that had been our 2 episodes ago goal. We did dive down. We haven't completed the ravine inside the kind of bamboo island, but we made good progress, I think, in that first episode. We've done a lot of resource gathering around getting our bees, but now that they're moving along so well, I'm happy. I'm glad we did it. We'll pick away at getting the flowers. Obviously, I didn't force the issue. We didn't have to go back to get more sandstone to just finish up that last little bit. But we'll over time now we can kind of wrap that up. At some point we'll get a wild hair to improve the flowers and all that kind of stuff. But they're clicking, at least, often to the races, and you can see them out there going over our crops, helping them out. So real good stuff, good progress, good moves. Whenever next may be, I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to be like here in the next little bit, but whenever next is, we'll either look to jump in a boat or head off across land, something mobile. I'm gonna try to ignore the call of any projects, and just tear off into the world and see what's out there. So I hope you guys are down for that. Come back and join me when we do. I hope you enjoy this and all the other episodes that are out there, and can't wait to see you back for more. Until then, and as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you. Until the next video, get up, stretch your legs, stick your head outside, night or day. There's always something cool going on outside out there. So I hope you make the most of it, and we'll talk to you the next time around. Bye now.